Hello and welcome to the Nursing and the Arts podcast. I'm your host, Susan J. Farese, MSN RN, SJF Communications. Here we will listen to stories from nurses that use the creative arts in their practice or in their personal lives. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Nursing and the Arts podcast. This is episode 10. Woohoo! And I have here this amazing nurse writer, nurse colleague, Janine, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Kelbach?
Kelbach, like
Kelbach.
the composer. So,
Oh, it is Kelbach,
yeah,
like the composer. Great,
yeah, there
great.
you go. There you go.
Okay, I have to put that in my little memory here. But anyway, Janine and I have been remote colleagues for over a year now, actually much over a year, probably about 2 years.
Yeah.
I met you on LinkedIn, and it was just an amazing thing because you gave me a lead for a client that worked out really well. So thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, anytime.
Yeah, firecracker PR. Yes, yes. So I'm just so happy to have you here because you are, I just watch what you do and you just never stop. You're just amazing. You are a go-getter. But you are the author of Savvy Nurse Writer, a nurse's blueprint for starting a profitable freelance health writing business. But you're also the CEO of is it Writers RN or Write RN?
Write RN.
Write RN. WRITE. Also,
that's it.
RIGHT if you want to think about it, because you're the right RN to be the right RN.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're just amazing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started in nursing and then how nursing has led you to where you are today, having an agency of nurse writers under you?
Wow, that's a loaded question. So started nursing. Actually, I'm not one of the people that always wanted to be a nurse. I was like the typical want to be a vet or something in school. I had no idea what I wanted to be. And it wasn't until my junior year of high school, I had to do service hours and volunteer at somewhere. So I went to the local hospital and actually got to go in OB, and we put together charts and all that stuff. And I was working at Burger King at the time, and I saw a nurse aide in the nursery holding a baby. And then one of the nurses let me and my sister, I have a twin sister who's also a nurse. We did this together. And so she took us into a delivery, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I wasn't grossed out, anything like that. And then my thought pattern at the age of 16 was, wow, I think I would like to be that nurse aide rather than smelling like Burger King when I come home. That would be cool. That'd be cool. Applied for the job, got it.
That's wild.
I want to go to nursing school. Then went to nursing school. Thought I wanted to be a pediatric ER nurse, and it turned out I turned into a labor and delivery nurse. So that's the start of my nursing journey. And I kind of was one of these nurses that kind of did all the things. I was just bedside nurse at first. Then I went to a tertiary center and got a lot of high risk experience. Ended up being charge nurse down there, oriented people, all that, and then got offered a position as assistant nurse manager on night shift at the other smaller hospital again. So I went back over there, did that for a little while, then did charge on days and precepted there, got my certification, got my BSN, and then ended up doing educator for a little while, joined all these different committees. Just I was all over the place. But
I can relate. I can relate to you. I was like that too. I never just stood still and did just one thing. Always.
And it wasn't like I wasn't satisfied. I loved what I did. Just there was just I don't know if I was bored or what it was. So then I started a job on the side because I was sick of just picking up shifts and the night shifts and 12 hours and all that.
Oh yeah.
So I got offered a position where I would do home care for pregnant women. So I started doing that on the side. That was cool. And that's where it clicked that I could work by myself. No one ever had to tell me what to do. I knew my role. I knew what I needed done. And I only called if I needed something. So, and I would go chart at a McDonald's or somewhere quiet and alone. And it worked out. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. Well, then someone's dog, massive pit bull, attacked me when I was giving the lady a shot. And it was horrible. I had a
Mm.
winter coat on and a sweatshirt and a t-shirt and a scrub top, and it
Oh my
still fit
goodness.
through my clothes. And so then I was like newborn baby and like a 7-year-old. My husband was like, maybe not the inner city of Cleveland anymore. Maybe we don't do that. I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah,
Then
but
they,
safety is such an issue now too, with violence and
yeah,
everything in nursing. So, okay, sorry about that.
especially going
I
into
didn't know that.
their
Wow.
neighborhoods. Yeah. So
Yeah.
then
Oh,
it like
wow.
hit me like maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And I'm like, well, I just don't know what else to do. So I started Googling, like many of us do, like what can nurses do on
Mm.
the side? And there's a ton of stuff. But then this was back in 2013, and I always loved to write. And I was like, huh, maybe I could be a writer and get paid for it. And I was like, do people do that? I don't think people really get paid to write. So I was like starting to write some content for like moms for like postpartum care, and I got paid for it. And
And
I was like,
who was your
this
first
is it.
client? Who was your first?
Um, so my first client was a local magazine around here. That's the one that you get like free in the library. I think
Uh-huh.
they paid me like $70 for that article. And it was cool because then I can like tell my friends, hey, go to the library, get my, magazine. You'll see that I can write. And then I started doing some stuff for Healthline before Healthline really got big and started
Oh.
doing all their stuff in-house. So between those two, then it kind of I needed that validation that it was
Mm.
real more than anything else.
Sure, sure.
Once I knew that, I was like, okay, this is something I could do on the side. So then just slowly, I
Hmm.
was slow to start. Like I just kind of did my thing as a freelance writer for a little while. Um, and then over time, just kind of built the business and turned it into an agency eventually. But that was an
Absolutely amazing.
eventually.
Oh my gosh. Were you ever burnt out in nursing where writing
Oh
helps
yeah.
you? Can you talk
Oh
about that?
yeah.
Because this is a
Just
nursing in the arts and I want to know how,
absolutely.
writing is a creative art. Of course, it's a communication tool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think um my burnout came from when I was at assistant manager, I was on night shift. I
mm,
was pulling like 18-hour, 19-hour shifts at some point. Um, just
right.
taking all of it home with me all the time. My phone was constantly ringing. I constantly go into the hospital when I on my days off. It was just like one thing after another. So yeah, I was totally burnt out by the end. And it clicked when I was going to work, and I don't know, just one day I was like, wait, I am in the happiest area of the hospital. It's also the saddest at times, right? But
Right.
ideally, this is the place that people have been waiting. Some people can't have children, they finally get one. This is an area where people waited 9 months for this baby, and they were just this is the best day of their life. And I'm sad or pissed off going to work. Like
Wow, that's a
something's wrong.
juxtaposition. That is something that
Something's wrong.
you're not
Yeah.
anticipating. And here the highs and lows. Your
Yeah.
low with their highs, potentially. You never
And
know
that's how I know.
what's going to happen there, but you need to be present for them with their experience.
Yeah. And that's how
Amazing.
I knew. That's how I knew.
Yeah,
I was like,
you know.
I can't do this anymore. That's when I kind of started the home care thing on the side, but then the writing kind of got intertwined in there. And I loved the writing side because I loved being my own boss. Honestly, I really liked that side of it, and I could take on as much as I wanted to or not. And it paid, gave us some extra spending money here and there, and it was an outlet for sure.
And you
Definitely a
probably
different part of your brain.
exactly, and you probably had balance in your personal life with your then young baby, right?
Uh-huh,
During
100%.
this
I'd write
time.
when he napped, and then when he, ended up going to like preschool eventually, it was like during
Right.
preschool I'd write, and you just fit it in and little steps at a time. It wasn't like it was an overnight thing. It was a lot of, a lot of little steps that
Little
equal
steps.
to where I am
Yeah.
now.
And I'm sure your spouse was supportive of this getting started in a whole new area, but you were still working a little bit while you started all this. So then you
Yeah, actually,
transitioned
he didn't
fully.
even know because again, I needed the
Oh, really?
validation myself. Nobody knew that I was
Wow.
like doing this because I didn't believe it. Like I didn't
Uh-huh.
really think that it could be something. So obviously, eventually, he knew, and he was the first person who knew. But over time, I didn't quit my job like bedside until I went. I was one of these that did like full time, part time, PRN,
Mm,
PRN, PRN, till
I
I'm like
see.
the worst PRN employee, and then I was done.
And you were done. Oh my goodness. So that was that you started in around 2013 and now we're at 2024. Wow.
Mhm.
Long time.
Yeah,
Oh my
long time. I'm
gosh, that's
saying
a
like it
really
wasn't
long time.
overnight, that's for sure. And
Yeah,
yeah, and then so full time in the business since 2022, and I
2020.
started the agency in 2020. 2020 is when it like really hit me that I had a thriving freelance business at the time by myself, but then the hospital was crazy because of COVID. And then
Mm,
I was also stretched thin with doing remote schooling for my kids. So I had like a choice to make. And that's when I went PRN because I was like, I can either give up my business. And I'm like, I don't want to give up my business. I built this thing. It's my
exactly.
baby. I don't want to give it up.
Exactly.
So then I
Yeah.
was like, but I can
Oh,
cut back on the hospital. So I did.
so that was self-care right there. You took care of yourself with your needs. You did not
Yeah.
get more burned out or anything. You took control. And I think a lot of this is control. Being your own boss is control and also responsibility for what happens either way. So
But it was scary.
kudos to you. Of course
Very
it is
scary.
scary, but that's why I have you on the show because you have to show, you have to have some chutzpah and some moxie to be able to take that first step and then grow. You have scaled your business. It's just unbelievable. How many nurses do you have writing for Ride RN?
uh not at a given time, like it varies, but we have in our database, actually I can tell you right now because it changes all the time because we have so many nurse writers that are incredible, but
Look at her.
it
She's
used to be
still
100.
writing, people. She's still working here. She can't
It
relax.
used to be, I know, right? It used to be like 150, but let's give you the latest updated numbers here. In our database we have, holy cow, over 500 now. We have
No
over 500.
way.
Do I work with
Am I
every
in
single one of them?
there? Am I in
Are
there?
you in there? You
Put me
probably
in
are in there.
there.
You are in there.
Wow.
You are in
That's
there.
some, oh, I need to do some freelance writing again. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's
And that's what's
great.
cool. So we as an agency, for those that aren't like familiar with what that means, because I wasn't, um, basically what happened in 2020 is I had so many clients coming to me with work, which great
Mm,
problem to have, right? But the
personally.
problem was I'm only one person, and
Right.
a lot of the clients needed things that I didn't feel like I was an expert in. One of them was oncology um, content, and the other one was actually it was on the like anesthesiology. And one of my nurse
Oh,
writers is an oncology nurse practitioner, and one of them was a nurse anesthetist. So
mhm.
that content went to them, and then it started building and building and building as I got different experts, subject matter experts is what we call them, into our database. So
Mm,
now if there's a project, like for example we have one right now where we need writers with a certain certification, and
mhm.
we'll do a blast like, hey, we have this project available if anybody's willing, and then it gives them, they don't have to go look for clients essentially,
Right,
they can
right.
just take work here and there that comes. But we
That's
never
super.
promise people anything, but it kind of gives you that like experience if you want it.
That's great. That's great. So these nurses for you and with you write for, is it websites? Is it articles for patient education? What type of things do nurses write
Mm-hmm.
with your organization?
Lots of things. So we've done that kind of stuff, the blogs and different web content. We also do CEU content. We do a lot
Um,
of medical education, a lot of reviewing content too these days. A lot of companies just have a writer write it and they just need that medical expertise to verify
to
things. So we
verify.
do that. We write for a lot of different like niches of businesses, like with like blogs. So there'll be tech side of stuff. There will be SaaS, which is software, but it's all healthcare related. There's so many different areas, from products to services to business to consumer stuff. So it's all over the place.
Amazing.
And I tell everybody, we'll take it on if I can find somebody to do it. And as long as they, do a good job, then we're good. We're good to go. We have an internal editor. Her name's
Mhm.
Nicole. She looks at all the content before we ever send it to our clients. And then I have another assistant who, Cheryl, she helps me project manage. And then I do a lot of the client facing stuff. So
So you
it's a nice
delegate,
little operation.
yeah, you
Oh yeah,
delegate
I could never
at the
ever do
head.
this
Yeah,
alone.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
never ever. Not just my writers. It's like the whole operation I could never do just by myself. It's a
That's
great team.
amazing. And I looked at your website, and saw how many podcasts you've been on talking about your business. So you're a natural communicator. I mean, look at this, nursing and the arts. When it's all said and done, there's no profession as diverse as the art and the science of being a nurse. That's from my book.
I love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what is your typical day? Is there a
What's it look
typical
like?
day? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question too. Yeah, no. Typical day, I get up early because I like to actually wrap up my day before my kids get home from school if I can. Sometimes I have to
Mm.
jump back on, but usually I'm working anytime between like 5 a.m. till about 9 a.m. and then I take a longer break. I'll go
Oh.
work out, I'll take my dog on a walk, I'll go with my husband for breakfast, we'll go do whatever. And then about 11 I'll come back and finish out the rest of the day. And that's usually my
Huh.
day, depending on what we're doing. Sometimes I have calls, sometimes I have podcasts, sometimes I record podcasts for my podcast. And then sometimes it's just meetings with my team and just a lot of project management, following up on things and lots of emails. But that's actually my role more than anything else right now is I'm not writing as much as I do the project management side.
Well,
But that's
absolutely. You
okay.
have to oversee everything and you're
Yeah.
responsible. So yeah. And
Yeah.
you're an LLC, so you're incorporated as
Mhm.
well.
Yep.
Okay. So how
Absolutely.
do you relax? How do you get your stress management with the busy lifestyle that you have, that you've
Yeah.
created, that you're the monster of here in a good way?
Yeah.
What do you do for relaxation? Is there anything as far as creative arts that you do other than the writing, the technical writing that you're doing and
Creative
overseeing?
arts. I mean, there's things I like to do. Like I like to paint. I like to,
Oh,
but I'm not good at it. Like there's things
that's
I get to do,
okay.
but I'm not good at it at all. But I honestly I really like to just do art with my kids. Like we love to like draw and create stuff. Um, but the other things I didn't actually realize this. I met somebody new the other day. And so she and I have been talking, and she's like, Jenny, you're just such an interesting person. And when I start to say what I like to do, it makes me think, I guess I am kind of interesting for, a 40-year-old woman. So
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
have like my two kids, right? But we just came back from a camping trip this weekend. So we love nature. We love just being
Nature.
outside,
Hmm.
hiking or just being outside. Um, we like swimming, stuff like that. And then I love just traveling. We like to travel a lot. We have a camper that we drive in, or we like to fly places, just check out new things. Everywhere we go, we try and find something new to do. So it's just we're very
That's cool.
adventurous in that aspect. But like hobbies for myself, for self-care, I
Uh-huh.
try to work out honestly at least 3 days a week in like a workout, and then I walk every single day just to get moving. I think it's so important
Absolutely.
for my energy level more than anything else. And then I actually I do adult gymnastics. So I do gymnastics. I've been doing that
No.
for a little while.
How
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, I'll
That
send
is
you a
really
video.
cool. That's wonderful. A
So I do
physical
that with
creative art.
yeah. Yeah, I have fun with that. And then this is funny too. My sister, she not my twin actually comes with us though. We help with fulfillment for different company a dog shampoo company. My family does fulfillment where we package up orders and then we send them out, but it's something that I do on
Oh,
Wednesdays, and it's just something I do with my family, and we have so much fun with it. It's more just like a social gathering for us, and it forces us to see each other. So we do stuff like that.
how
Like it's a
cool.
little weird things we do, like
No,
other
it's
things like
wonderful.
every Sunday we have like friends come over for dinner. We have the same friends. It's just like our family that are friends. We do that. And then my husband's in a band, so we go, he does a bunch of cover songs. He's a drummer, so we go out. My whole family comes, his family comes, friends come. So we
Wow.
have good times around.
That's
Our families are all
awesome.
very close here. We're in Ohio, so it's fun.
That's
That's
so,
we do a lot. I do a lot of that stuff. A lot of relaxation, believe it
that's
or not.
great. You're
So
very
it looks like I'm
inspiring.
very busy, but
You're very, very inspiring. Now, I saw on your LinkedIn also that you are really getting into AI. Many people
Mhm.
are a little bit afraid of AI or suspicious of it. Can you tell us the benefits of AI for nurse writers or just anybody in life that might
Yeah.
have a business?
Yeah,
I'm
and
very interested.
even without a business, it's very
Uh-huh.
beneficial. I think those that are jumping on the AI train now are going to be the ones ahead of those that never get on it. So
Hmm.
it's like anything else, it's coming into our lives. So be ready or not, it's here. And it's going to be changing the way business works. It's going to be changing the way life works. And it's a good thing, I think. I think in the humane side of it, you always got to look at that. But I really do think we are at a big moment in time right now where technology is really going to start speeding up as fast as it already is. It's going to just keep going faster. For writers, I actually just did an episode on this on the Savvy Scribe podcast about using tools in writing using AI. And it's a great tool for writing because I like to use it for outlining. I like to use it for expanding on different ideas. A lot of companies are really against people using AI as their writer, which I agree with. I do feel like we need the human mind and especially a nurse's experience in there, which the AI can't give you, but it really can make things so productive. I actually, this is honest to God, what I did yesterday. I am trying, my podcast has been going on since 2019. We're on almost episode 300. I am running out of ideas. I don't know what else to do. I took all the statistics from our podcast since 2019 and uploaded it to ChatGPT and asked them to analyze all that data and let me know what, and let me know what resonated the best with my audience. And it gave me a whole list of ideas. So it's a great idea generator, great brainstormer. If you have like, I've done this too. We have a bunch of different research studies you're trying to like page through without reading every single one. You just upload it there and say, can you summarize this? Can you pull out main points? Then you write an article about it. So it's a huge time saver. And we use AI a lot, as in like we use a platform called ClickUp. We do tons of automations where all we have to do is assign somebody something and it sends an email. So it's
make it easier.
Great,
to flow.
And that's actually what we do. What I recommend people do is look at your day-to-day tasks, see what you can automate. So for example, like even your Calendly, that's an automation. I book, you get an email, it gives you a reminder, and here we are. We have a link and we're good. So that's just, think about like what you do during your day and how it can be automated. And there's so many things that you just realize you're doing over and over and over that you don't have to.
Do you sleep well? I was just going to say, you just go. You do.
I sleep great.
So you're just so fulfilled. And I just love this about you. I just love this about you. Let me see if there's how did you learn all of this automation stuff and just the technical savvy of writing? Who was your mentor or whatever? Did you just have a knack for it?
I think I have a curiosity. I think curiosity pushes me to keep learning. And I go from courses to just internet articles to books, whatever I feel like I can get more knowledge about it is how, and that's actually how I started my business. I felt like I didn't really have a mentor. I just looked up a lot of books on business and freelance writing, what that even meant. I didn't even know what freelance meant, like all these things. And then I have a friend. I have lots of like people I've networked with who can help me with contracts and stuff like that, because I don't know the legal side. My husband did banking for 20 years and knows all about the LLC, all that stuff. He helped me with that. So so there's a lot. I think to be a business owner, you have to be curious. You have to be so curious in order to fulfill the gaps of knowledge and
also be resourceful, not just curious, but do something about it. Don't just wonder. Get out there, like you said, look things up and find what you have to find, or find the people that you need to help you get there. You're great at that. And I just,
that's what I always say to people. I'm not smart. People think I'm like this really smart person. I am not smart. I struggled in school. I struggled in nursing school. English was my worst subject.
Unbelievable.
I struggled, but I will tell you, and I tell my son this all the time, it doesn't matter how smart you are. It's a matter how resourceful you are and how curious you are to know the answers to things. And what's hard about school is, school makes you do certain things you're not interested in. So that's why it's boring and maybe why you're not doing well. But really, when it comes down to like, why is it the way it is? And you look into it and you wonder and you look it up and you Google's like my favorite.
We just show
my favorite tool in the world. Like Google, I Google everything.
Exactly.
Like, if it can answer the question.
What can you tell nurses out there, because that's our audience, nursing in the arts?
Yeah.
How to take control of your life whether it's freelance writing, but just to get out of that burnout stage in a creative way. Tell our audience. I love other people's backgrounds and just
Yeah.
their mindset about it.
Be different. Look outside your four walls and be different. I used to, because a lot for me, and I hear it from other people, that when you go on a walk, your mind clears and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I used to walk because I was burned out. I used to walk before my shift started. And they're like, Janine, how, I would get this all the time. Oh, Janine did her walk. Like, they would make fun of me. Janine did her walk before work. I'm like, shut up, you guys.
Wow.
And they'd be like, you do your walk every day, even in the dark, even in the snow. I'm like, because it makes me deal with all of you. That's how we're getting through
Stress
this.
management.
And if I
right
got
there,
that going, if I did my walk the first part of the day,
yeah.
it cleared my mind. So go on a walk. I'll tell you to go on a walk. And when you get home from work, don't feel like you need to do more. If you've worked a 12-hour shift, take your shoes off, jump in the shower, grab some food, and go to bed. Rest is so important. I used to try to be like, oh, I only sleep like 3 hours a day, and don't do that. There's no reason. You're not a hero. The older I get and see people that are workaholics and burning themselves out, it is not a badge of honor. To me, it is you're self-destroying, and you're going to die younger. You're going to get cancer. Who knows what's going to happen? But if you got to take care of yourself. We have one life to live, one body. And if you don't, you're going to burn out. And if you're interested in doing something on the side, go all in the sense of learning it all, doing it all, but don't go all in as you're burning yourself out learning something new.
Something else. Take some time for it.
Take time.
And I will actually, put all your links up there. You're fascinating. Just listen to some of the podcasts she's done. I mean, amazing. And thank you for having me on your podcast last year.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime.
So we'll put that link in there too. We talked about PR and things like that.
Yes.
But you've inspired me to start the podcast, many of you. And it's like my niche, have a niche. I'm sure with the writers, the nurse writers, they all have a niche with what they write about. So be confident in what you know about and do something creative with it, whether it is writing, music, dance, whatever. It's nursing and the arts. And I just want to thank you so much for being on the show. Any closing thoughts, Miss Resourceful Lifelong Learner, Smarty Pants?
Hey, you're smarter than you think you are. That's always what I tell people too. You're smarter than you think you are. Go dive in. It's scary, but you'll be all right. And we find a community, find people that'll support you, like people that listen to this podcast. It's a different world. Like, we've all been in this nursing world where, we get attacked or, whatever, we're not supportive of one another. But I will tell you, in this side of it, whether the nursing business side, I have felt so supportive over the years of mentors and people. Everybody just wants everybody to grow. And even when I'm giving you clients, it's not because I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to get clients now. We're here to help one another and help each other grow. And there's enough business, enough work for everybody. Absolutely. We just got to help one another.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Janine.
Thank you so much for listening to the Nursing and the Arts podcast. We loved having you here. And don't forget to sign up for our Facebook group, Nursing and the Arts, as well. And for information, you can email info@sjfcommunications.com.